What is up, you guys? Aaron here with 900 Rated Disc Golf, and I've got a review for you today. I'm going to be playing a putter only round with the Big Z Luna, the new plastic that this disc is going to be in. I'm also going to use just your standard kind of stock run Jawbreaker Luna. I've never putted with Lunas, I've never thrown Lunas, so this is going to be a nice fresh review. My main focus is to see kind of what the differences are between these. I'm probably going to throw both of them off the tee, but primarily putt with the Jawbreaker one. But I just want to give you guys my thoughts on these discs and where they might fit in your bag. Let's get at it. All right, so I'm going to be throwing all of the even holes out here in Mascoutah. I'm going to throw both of them off the tee. I'm going to try to do a lot of different shots today just to get an idea on how they feel throwing, and then just give you guys my thoughts. But let's get to it. I'm going to start with the Big Z Luna. Just again, these are going to be my initial thoughts. I've never thrown Lunas before, so let's see how they fly. Got a little bit of a skip there. It's not too bad. A little bit long even. So the flight numbers for the Luna is a 3-speed, 3-glide, 0-turn, and 3-fade. So in a lot of scenarios, this disc is expected to be a little bit overstable. For both of those, there's a little bit of a left to right wind. So both of those throws went fairly straight with a little bit of a fade, or actually both of them were a little bit on the understable side, having the wind push them over just a little bit. But out of the hand, first throws felt pretty good. Now I'm gonna see how well these discs putt. Let's see what happens. On to hole number 2, gonna throw both off the tee. We have a little bit of a tailwind, so ideally I can put a little bit of power behind this, and hopefully it should still stable up at the end. Slipped a little bit there. I think I left that with a little bit of a little bit too much ante, but still got up the fairway enough to leave a pretty similar shot into the green for a birdie look. All right, so just some initial thoughts from the first few throws. At least so far, I feel like the Jawbreaker is coming out a lot cleaner for me than the Big Z. The Big Z also maybe a little bit more understable. I'm hoping on a couple of these shots coming up, I'll be able to maybe finesse them a little bit more just to see how they fly. But all right, Big Z landed here. Jawbreaker's just right there. So pretty similar as far as distance. Jawbreaker went a little bit farther, similar to the first time, but now let's see if I can get these guys on the green. I felt like I let that go with a lot of hyzer, and it kind of flipped up immediately. Yeah, that one's pretty understable. I'm gonna try the same thing here. Try to be like nice and smooth, release on a fair amount of hyzer, and see if this one holds it a little more. A little better. I do think I laid off a little bit more on that one, but that one held it a lot easier. nice and easy putter shot, so this hole was made for one of these. So let's see if I can just pick up an ace with one. I think both of these fit really well for this type of hole, especially with how understable this Big Z Luna is. I feel like I could put it outside and really crank on it with maybe just a little bit of anhyzer, and it should float nicely next to the basket. I'm really liking the Jawbreaker one so far for throwing. I don't know if the grippier plastic's just a little bit easier for me to like just get a grip with, honestly, but I'm not really putting well with either one of them. Is what it is. I'm used to a little bit of a shallow putter, whereas these are way deeper, so it feels a little bit odd for me so far, but honestly, the Jawbreaker one for throwing feels really good. Wow. I'll have to roll that back to see what kind of angle I put on there, but that's not how that disc is flown all day. I will definitely have to put more anhyzer on this one. Yeah, I mean, I'm still probably circle's edge, but that one felt a lot better. Yeah, so this guy hyzered out really early. I'm actually gonna try a forehand approach on this one just to see kind of how it feels on that type of a release. It didn't feel terrible. It's honestly felt better than most of the backhands I've had. That one's definitely more understable now. Not a bad result. Try giving it a run. Got my buddies actually playing from the alternate. Get in. Oh, buddy. I almost saw my friend ace it. Look at that. All right. Looks like the other one's throwing now. Let's see where it ends up. Oh, there it goes. I thought you were about to ace it, dude.
Well, I thought I was going to clip the tip of the roof. I didn't hear anything. I was like, dude, I guess I cleared it.
Dude, I had the video going, and I mean, when I say it was like...
Oh, it would have been sick.
Bro, it was ridiculous. Like I even mentioned on here. All right, so I've got a couple of my buddies out here. Like I said a minute ago, one of them nearly aced the last hole. They're actually going to help me out here. The next couple holes, we're going to have them test these out too, give you their thoughts.
Big Z.
I mean, it's a headwind, but both of those are really flippy today. It's odd. Yeah, I like that one a lot more for throwing. I'd say we can edit it, but I'm not that good at Photoshop.
You still like power grip when you go there?
I do, yeah. Like, they're so flippy. Like, those flight numbers are so weird.
Like a putter that I would. The pilot.
I mean, it's still a little flippy, but
Yeah,
a pilot's not near as stable, or not as stable as you'd think it was, at least.
Right.
And they immediately flipped up.
Because I can't like power grip them.
I feel like Luna has the same flight pattern as the spin.
As the spin?
Negative 2.5.
Yeah, like to me, I don't know where they got those flight numbers, but they don't feel that overstable. Like this says 300 feet. Like I feel like if I put this within 30, I'm feeling pretty good. See that one? Look at that. See, it held it a little better this time, but now we don't have a direct headwind.
You going with the old spin there?
Yeah, it's super clear.
But I still get this pilot up farther than that.
Yeah, I feel the same about my ABR too. I feel like I'm gonna be able to get much more controlled flight. So much fun.
What? That's insane that was a putter.
I mean, I'm used to throwing those, but it just feels so much more comfortable. Those Lunas just, I don't know. This is gonna be one of those reviews where they think that I'm a Discraft hater, and I'm gonna have to show them the like 15 buzzes I have at home. They're like, no, I
That's
like
a real shot.
Discraft. I don't really like Lunas.
I'm gonna go that convict. Ooh, that looks good too. Dang. Yeah, I have no idea.
I'm sorry, Discraft. I like my ABR 3s.
Insane.
Ooh, sneak around it. Yeah, it's up there too.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'll go with speed leak.
Putter, high speed drive.
So those have the same flight numbers as that ABR?
They're close. Oh, I don't know if I like that. That one's one of the cleaner releases I've had with that one all day. Great shot.
I've been sick.
I will say the glide on both of those is phenomenal. I just can't throw them. But now with these,
Go in. Oh man, I think that's the right height. Oh,
that one felt good.
that was disgusting.
Alright guys, so I just finished up my putter only round with the Big Z Luna and then the Jawbreaker Luna. So just some final thoughts here. Man, these discs seem to be really flipping, at least from what I was able to do today. The wind wasn't that bad, maybe between 5 and 10 miles an hour. So in a lot of scenarios, I feel like I can throw putters in those type of conditions, but both of these discs seem to be on the flippy side. And when you look at the numbers, 3303, I would expect these to be maybe a little bit more overstable. I will say, at least throwing, I felt that the Jawbreaker Luna felt a lot better. It was a lot grippier. I was able to get much cleaner releases. And then for whenever I was trying to hold a hyzer, for me, this disc held the hyzer a lot more. This Big Z Luna was really hit and miss for me. There were a couple times where it just immediately flipped up and turned over. There were other times where it kind of held the hyzer. As you saw, I had a couple of my buddies out here, Steve and Jared. Big thanks to those guys for being willing to help out. It was kind of the same situation. They both thought that they were a little bit on the flippy side. They both have throwing putters, but at least in Jared's case, he throws a spin, which I'll put the numbers for those down below here. The spin is a pretty understable putter, and these were flipping over a lot easier. Steve was actually throwing a Pilot, and if you just look at the flight numbers for those are a little bit on the flippier side, or at least you'd think compared to these discs. But those were flying a little bit straighter. It was a really weird scenario. I will say for putting, I thought I was gonna like the Jawbreaker one more, but weirdly enough, at least near the end, I was getting a lot cleaner putting release from the Big Z. So it was kind of opposite. I thought this one would be good for putting and less for throwing, whereas the Big Z would be much better for throwing as opposed to putting, but it was kind of the reverse for me. It was really odd, but I did like both of them in certain situations, but the real thing is it's gonna be hard for me to replace these guys. So I throw and putt with the ABR3 from Innova. It's a lot flatter, it's a shallower disc, and it feels just a lot more comfortable for me. So as you saw, especially on those last couple holes, I was able to pump these a lot easier. They held lines longer, they went farther. But one more positive that I will say about the Lunas is that the glide on these are phenomenal. I actually really like the glide on them. So there were shots where they did turn over, but they were still able to go quite a bit farther than I would expect for like a putter that turns over like this. The glide on both of these were great. That's one thing that I actually really did like about them. But guys, those were kind of my thoughts on the Luna, both the Jawbreaker and the Big Z. What are your thoughts on these discs? What do you use them for? Are they kind of turnover putter shots? If I was to bag either one of these, that's probably what I would use them for. It's just like a touch turnover shot. For me, at least in my game, I don't have a whole lot of use for these. But yeah, I appreciate you guys for watching. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Follow me on Instagram at 900ratedDG. I really appreciate that also. I'm trying to get a lot of content out to you guys. What are some discs that I need to review next? What are some discs I should try out? Let me know. I will definitely look into it. I hope you guys have a phenomenal day. Have a good one, guys.